Hello all, welcome to the course Food Processing and Waste Management. So myself, Engineer Syed Abdul, working as Assistant Professor under NPIU at Harcourt Butler Technical University, Kanpur. We were discussing environmental management system, that is ISO 14001 for food processing industries. So in part 1 we have discussed various phases of the environmental management system. In part 2 we have discussed seen food industry as an organization and what are the inputs and outputs from the food industry. So in this part we will see uh, what are the various factors to be considered for the prediction of the environmental performance of the particular. So the outlines of the lecture are physical properties, mass and energy balances required to know, as well as we will take an example to solve this. If you look at the following properties of the foods and food constituents are necessary for the prediction of the environmental performance of an industry. So these include first thermodynamic properties such as partition coefficients, activity coefficients, and chemical potential. Through the knowledge of these properties, we can predict the distribution of a given component between two or more phases. For example, hexane in the kernel oil. So if you look at solvent extraction of an kernel oil, where we use hexane as a solvent, so the residual hexane presence in the kernel oil can be determined by thermodynamic properties. So this residual presence which we consume will also affect the environment. Next, in case of enzymatic reactions or enzyme catalyzed reactions, we need the data of K, that is rate constant, Km measureless maintained constant. We also need physical properties of the waste such as viscosity, density and diffusivity of the solids as well as other materials. BOD and COD as well as suspended solids, and the difference between the COD and BOD indicates toxicness or hazardous nature of the waste or effluents, because these indicates the non-biodegradable nature of the waste or effluents. So these are the various properties to predict the environmental performance of an organization. We'll see mass and energy balances to know exact quantity of waste is producing or quality of waste, how much suspended solids it contains. All those things can be determined by mass and energy balance. If you look at a typical process, a combination of two unit procedures is synthetic process where conversion or manufacturing of a product takes place, followed by a separation process where we try to purify the product. So in this figure we have taken A as a synthetic process and B as a separation process. So if you look at in a food industry, A could be a feed tank, mixing tank or a reactor where a reaction can take place or conversion is taking place. B could be a decanter or a centrifuge or a membrane unit or a activated carbon fixer fluidized bed where separation of the component or purification of the component takes place. So before going to apply mass or energy balances, we always take properties those are conserved such as mass and energy. So a conserved property such as mass, total or the mass of a given component, or energy fulfill the balance equation. A basic requirement for any balanced equation to apply is to define very carefully the so-called control value. So in which control value you are applying the mass balance or the energy balance, either you are applying total energy balance or partial energy balance. So you need to define the control value. So in the example given in the previous slide, A can be a control value or only B can be a control value, or combination of A and B can be considered as a control value. So a balance applied to the overall process is called overall or general balance. Concerning mass balance, a total balance concerns the conservation of the total mass, where a certain component follows a partial mass balance. That means if you are balancing only the solid component uh, in the batch, say in the control volume A, then it is called partial mass balance. So these are the kinds of balances: total and overall, general balance. That means overall including all the components, partial and overall that means we are applying to the overall control volume but considering only partial. Total and specific, here we are considering only one component, that may be a liquid component or maybe a solid component. Similarly, we are coupling partial and specific, we are applying to a partial control, one control volume excluding the other parts of the process, and applying to specific such as solids or liquids only. So the balance equations, if there is any accumulation or generation of the product, whatever goes in must come out, minus if there is an uh, accumulation or generation or degradation of a component, then df by dt, that means which represents the accumulation or degradation of a particular component. If there is no accumulation or generation at the source, whatever goes into the process will come out of the process. Try to understand this with the example of an evaporation of tomato paste in an evaporator. In this case, for suppose say there is a tomato paste which 200,000 kg per day, 2 lakh kg per day, which is at 35 degrees centigrade, having a dry solid content of 5%, is to be concentrated to a dry solid content of 30% in a one stage evaporator. And this evaporator is operating at 93 degrees centigrade, and at this the pressure is 77 kilopascal. Enthalpy of the vapor in the water in the steam is 2664 kilojoule per kg. In the water it is 387 kilojoule per kg, where H and H are enthalpies of water in the steam and liquid form respectively. So we are using saturated steam into the heat exchanger at 125 kilopascal. Temperature of the steam is 192 degrees centigrade. H is 2, enthalpy is 2786 kilojoule per kg. In the steam, in the liquid state, it is 808 kilojoule per kg. The specific heat of the tomato paste was 4.01 kilojoule per kg degree centigrade. So these are the properties, these are the parameters given in the numerical. Let us say this is the feed entering into the single stage evaporator, right? So in this case, we are having feed, its solid components say 5%, and temperature of the feed. When feed entered, here we are using steam, right? Steam having particular enthalpy comes in and goes out of the evaporator. When this steam comes in contact with this tomato paste, then there is generation of the vapor, which is at having this much 2664, and liquid state it is having 387 enthalpy, right? As well as liquid, we will also get the liquid, and that this liquid is having a temperature at TL, and solid component is say XL. Now we will see what are various problems. So in this case, first we need to find out the content of vapor, right? First problem, here it is not shown, but the first problem is content of vapor produced, or the amount of vapor produced. So we know feed is 200,000 kg, and solid fraction in the feed is 5%, that is 0.05. In the liquid stream it is 30%, that is 0.30. And by simply substituting in F into XF is equals to L into XF, we will get L is equals to 33,333 kg. So this before this there is an equation. If you apply component balance, what is the equation you get? F into XF is equals to L into XF. We know XF, we know XL, we know F. We don't know L. From that equation we will get L is equals to 33,333 kg. Now if you apply overall mass balance, total mass balance, then feed is equals to vapor plus your product. Here product is represented as liquid, right? So if you substitute F is equals to 200,000, L is equals to 33,303 kg, then you can get 166,000. This much of your vapor produced during the concentration of your tomato paste. The second part is what is the steam recovery. So say the process is taking place at 93 degrees centigrade, so this will be taken as reference temperature. And if we apply the total energy balance, so total energy balance is, first we are increasing the specific heat of the pulp, which is at 35 degrees centigrade to 93 degrees centigrade. So here TF is 35 degrees centigrade, and reference temperature is 93 degrees centigrade. Plus here the steam is comes in contact with the pulp, which is having an enthalpy of 2786 and 387 at the liquid stage. This is in the vapor, this is in the liquid. This goes to the liquid having specific heat Cl, and temperature of the liquid is given, that is 93 degrees centigrade. It because it is coming out of the evaporator, so evaporator temperature is taken, plus V, that is your vapor having enthalpy and vapor phase as well as at reference temperature, plus steam is also living at these two, right? So all these values are given in the numerical. Feed is this much, specific heat of the pulp is this much, and then temperature of this 35 feed is 35 degrees centigrade, reference temperature is 93 degrees centigrade. So all these are given. From this we know the value of V, and from this we have to calculate the value of S, and S we will get around 215378. And the recovery of steam or steam recovery is vapor divided by steam, that is 77.4%. Then contact area of the evaporator, right? So by doing overall heat balance, we know Q is equals to UA in delta T. You may recall from the heat transfer operations. So U is the overall heat transfer coefficient. In this case, say U is equals to 3100 watt per meter square, and delta T, the temperature of the steam is 190, and operating temperature is 93, is 97, and steam is 2.5 kg per second, which we have calculated in the previous part, that is B, and enthalpies are given of steam 2786 minus 808. If you substitute this, you can calculate A, that is 16.4 meter square. So by in this way we can apply mass and energy balances to determine the components of the or composition of the streams leaving out of the process.